Boxing has a quirky way of scoring. It's round by round, and unless there's a knockdown, it's just 1 point per round. Yeah. So sometimes you could see a fight at the end, you go, fighter A won. But when you break it down round by round, you go, oh, I guess it was 6-6.
Wishing you nothing but the best. Everybody believes you're a rising star, and I hope it proves true. And thus far, you're doing your thing. Congratulations to you.
Some people maybe don't. How good is Shakur Stevenson in your opinion?
He's not good, he's great. And I think tomorrow the world will take notice of how great he is. There's a reason why certain fighters didn't want to take the chance to step in the ring with this fighter.
Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman liked Shakur's speed, saying he looked fast, smart, and was much better than Teofimo in the ring.
Come on, man. Start that. Two different body types. One to me is a better puncher. True, yes. Shakur can punch way better to the body than Lomo can.
Loma has totally more power at his weight than Shakur has had so far.
For sure.
At his weight. No, I agree with this. Shakur is longer than Loma and naturally bigger, but you can't say Shakur's ahead of Loma. He has not proven that yet. Maybe he will be, but man, that's a lot. Very few fighters.
He's a great.
Yeah,
but what's your favorite fighter, though, Shady?
Bro,
and still he's telling you.
Right,
and he's
Shady also loves Teo.
Shady's a big Teo.
That's why one thing about your boy, I keep it 1,000. I don't have no favorites. Shakur is my guy. He's my guy.
Max Kellerman says this is not a surprise because Teofimo lost to Kambosos, who is not as good as Shakur.
Question, even in the loss that he had against Kambosos, where he had a puncture, like he had some medical condition in his esophagus that was dangerous actually, and it looked like an off night. By the way, George Kambosos doesn't like when I say this, and I apologize. I understand it feels unfair to you, and maybe it is.
After losing with a hurt eye, Teofimo says his plan did not work. The better fighter won, and he shows good respect.
Oh man, how you doing?
Your thoughts on tonight?
Just grateful to be here, man. That's all.
You put on a performance tonight and unfortunately came up short, but what was it that surprised you about Shakur Stevenson?
Nothing at all, man. Just didn't come with the right plan. That's all. Better man won tonight. Good fan.
Do you feel like you'd like to run it back at some point with Shakur? I know you're someone that always wants to event it. Like that time Kambosos beat you, you want to do it straight away, right?
We'll see what happens next, man. I'm gonna let my team do the work on it.
Ryan Garcia on X says that Teofimo had a bad plan and made many mistakes that let Shakur Stevenson win easily. Terrence Crawford says that Shakur is not just good, but great and the best, and now everyone will see how good he really is in boxing.
It's great. A lot of people started saying, oh, he's a runner, he's this, he's that. Just to detour people from being excited to see him fight because he's not knocking people out and all that crazy stuff, but they would see why people really don't want to get in the ring with him come tomorrow.
I know you've shared the ring with him, sparring plenty of times. What makes Shakur Stevenson great? What makes him different? What makes him, I don't want to say an ilk of yourself, but in the same kind of era, the Bud Crawford era, he's got a Shakur Stevenson era coming through.
Everything. The offense, the defense, the poise, the rhythm, the distance, the timing, the punch placement, the react time. Like, I can go on and on. You know, the toughness, the grit, the grind. Like, he's amazing, you know. And tomorrow he will.
Wade Plem says that Shakur Stevenson might be the best boxer in the world right now. He beat Teofimo Lopez and made it look very easy. By winning, Shakur shows he is the best. Andre Ward says on TV that Shakur is great and will keep showing it to everyone.
You better leave that alone.
What did you think of Shakur's performance
He
tonight?
did what he had to do, man. You know, there's always room for improvement. You know, I think he had a lot of stuff he could have did, but he's so talented and gifted, man. You know, you also got to trust what he's seeing in there. You know, we're on the outside, you know. But I think he put on a tremendous performance, and obviously, you know, the level he's at, you always look for things he could do better, you know.
What did you see from the outside that he might be?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, like I think it was a lot of body work and stuff like that he could have touched on, but again, he's in there, you know, so he's seeing stuff, he's feeling the punches. We not. So you got to trust what he's seeing.
Teofimo just couldn't get going.
Well, he tried to get going. He just wasn't allowed to. So it's just the distance and range that Shakur has just perfected throughout the years, and then making him pay when he does that discourages him to not want to punch anymore. And I think he was out of answers in the first game. I think he didn't really have any answers. When Teo starts doing little certain things with his hands and starts playing the clown game, he out of answers. he's down to just one shot. So Shakur just stayed focused, stayed locked in. And, you know, was that 4 divisions now? 26, 30, 35, 40?
How good is Shakur? I interviewed Terence Crawford and he said he could be the greatest of all time.
We don't know. He's not done yet. You know, he's not done yet. He's a great for sure. How great, we're going to see. You know, he got a lot. He can box as long as he wants.
Lennox Lewis says it is hard to hit such a fast mover, and he knew that Shakur Stevenson would win this big fight.
And let me tell you, Shakur moves so well. He won every round, and he was just a step ahead with quickness and just with, you know, just the plan himself. Great plan coming in, and he did well. Congratulations to him.
He won all the rounds? Is that what you're saying? He won all 12 rounds?
Well, maybe he lost one, but he won the majority of rounds.
At what time did you realize that this was just going to be Shakur taking over the whole fight?
After the 4th round.
After the 4th round?
Yeah.
Teofimo, it seems like he couldn't just get it going. Like, he just tried differently going up and down. The counters were getting him.
Yeah.
What could he done differently tonight?
I don't know. You know, it's difficult to box against a great mover like that. And, you know, he tried. He definitely tried. His dad was emotional. You know, he wanted him to do better, but, you know, this is boxing.
Keyshawn Davis says this is not a surprise. He knew Shakur would fight like this and show his great skill and win easily.
I think like that, he took it out of him.
Nah, I wasn't surprised because the ref kept saying, show me something, Jermaine, show me something. And one time, Jermaine was like, all right, he's like, for real. So I wasn't surprised at all. And plus, his eye was shut, it was bleeding, like, it was time to stop.
Incredible.
Eddie Hearn says he was sure Shakur would win, but not this well. Shakur did better than people thought great, and Eddie says his skill, speed, and how he fought was amazing.
He would just be too good, and like he didn't really have to
Listen, I was fully confident he'd win the fight. I didn't think he'd win it as widely as that. I thought, you know, I mean, look, Teo's a great fighter. He made him look average in there. And that's because Shakur is so good. His IQ is so good. His footwork is so good. I actually think he could have stopped Teo if he would have pushed on the gas a little bit, but didn't need to. It was so easy. He's a 4-division world champion at 28 years of age. Phenomenal.
What was His Excellency saying ringside watching it?
Just that he's so good, you know, and I think sometimes people think that you know, Teo can do a little bit more, but like every time he tried to, he was just getting countered, peppered, and yeah, it was phenomenal to watch.
Conor Benn always managed to come away.
Started on a few people tonight, yeah.
Shakur Stevenson, so I just spoke to him there. He said his style's boring. He said if you like boxing, he gets it. But other than that, it's easy work for him. That fight realistic?
Yeah, why not? Look, for me, I still dream of Conor Benn winning a world title.
Zach Schumacher says you can hate how he fought, but you must like his heart. Boxing needs more men like Teofimo who try very hard. He gave fans a good fight and showed he is brave. You must respect that because trying your best is what makes sports great, even if you lose. Teddy Atlas says on TV that he is sad with how Teofimo is fighting so far. He says the score is even, not good at all. When you talk a lot and your dad acts crazy, you must do better than this. Atlas says Teofimo still has many rounds left, but this start is not great. He saw a small head hit and thinks it was Teofimo's fault because he ran in with his head first. Some judges might like the fighter who attacks more, but Atlas says attacking must work well and not just be wild and very messy.
But what you said, some people said 2-2. I understand. I think it's a shutout. Shakur won this round so far, but a little headbutt there, I guess. A warning from the ref. And that's probably the fault of Teo, be honest. He's rushing in head heavy, top heavy. But some judges like the aggressor more than the tactician. But for me, it's got to be effective aggression. It can't just be aggression. And a little bit better close to the round by Lopez. That was
it was. He went to the body better. He had a little success with the right hand to the body.
He got his range.
He had a little luck hitting the body with his right hand. He got closer to his target. He says Shakur is very smart because he stayed far away, hit the body, and used his right hand well. Atlas says that Teofimo's dad tells him to hit Shakur, but Teddy wants better plans because Teofimo needs help now. He talks about the score and thinks Teofimo was a bit better in the second half, but is still losing. Atlas says Shakur's fast jab is very important. Both men know it is key, but Shakur is the master and stays in control. In the end, Teddy says for Teofimo to stay in the fight, he must change, do better, and hit Shakur back. Without that, Shakur is the winner, and Teofimo has a very hard job.
Terrence Crawford, the great Terrence Crawford, and I think they were making fun, to be honest. I think they were chiding Lopez and his father. I think they were chiding Lopez and his father a little bit.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk before this fight and some nasty stuff said on both sides. But you'd like to think after the fight that they gained some respect and put that to bed. Terrence Crawford doesn't lose, huh?
No, you don't.
Claressa Shields says she is very proud of Shakur Stevenson after he beat Teofimo Lopez. She says Shakur did not just win, but was much better than Teofimo and showed why he is one of the best boxers in the world. Shields talks about his fast moves and smart plan, saying he stayed in control of the fight from the start to the end. She says that fights like this show Shakur is a top champion and one of the best 4 in his weight class. Shields likes how Shakur uses great defense and smart hits to make every move count while staying calm. She says that even when Teofimo tried to do better, Shakur was too smart and fast to be hit. For Shields, this fight showed that Shakur has big talent and a big heart, and is one of the very best today. He is a true star in boxing.
I know boxing, and like I told y'all, we was gonna see a little bit of athleticism, but we was gonna see Shakur be using his jab, going to the body, and we saw blood today. Shakur did great today. Only thing I can ask for is a stoppage. I can't ask for nothing else.
What would you think about, obviously, Teo's eye? He never seemed to be able to get into it at all. Is that kind of like the experience you had?
Or he won a round or 2 maybe, but that's it. Shakur dominant. He was able to hit him clean first round, able to avoid shots. Shakur is just on his A game. He's sharper, he's stronger, he's better, and now he's a 4-division world champion. I'm so proud.
Paulie Malignia says that Shakur Stevenson was amazing and much better than anyone thought. He said, "I knew Shakur was good, but this was even better than I guessed. I thought if he had a great night, he could win easy, but this was top level." Paulie likes how smart Shakur is, saying that Teofimo tried every way to win, but Shakur's moves and his great defense were just too hard to beat.
Watch was a freaking masterclass beyond epic proportions. I thought Shakur might do something like this, but even this exceeded my expectations. You know, I thought it may be, if Shakur had a really good night, make it look easy and win 9-3, 10-2. This was 12-0, 11-1, and I mean, it was next level type stuff. Teo was trying everything. The various wrinkles to Shakur's style are unbelievable. I mean, I know people like to say he runs. That's because they don't understand what they're watching. I rarely, in my mind, have I ever seen Shakur literally run. Is he defensive? Yes, because he doesn't open up into crazy offensive routines. Okay, yes, so that makes him defensive, but he never really runs. He's a master of position. I'm always trying to talk about and explain to people that being a master of position is so important, you know, not breaking your position. And what I mean by that is when you make a defensive move, you're not all over. Position is great. Doesn't necessarily mean you punch every time you make a defensive move, but every defensive move you make leaves you balanced enough and in a position enough to be able to punch if you want to, if you have the option to punch. And your opponent sees that, and that's why your opponent doesn't attack as aggressively, because sometimes they do get countered, sometimes they don't. You keep them guessing, but your position is always a position that you can punch off of. When guys aren't great at position, even when they make guys miss or whatever, they'll wind up in contorted position situations where we're not able to punch. That's not a really great defensive fighter, and a lot of times they wind up running and going to flight and so on and so forth. That leads to those kind of lapses where pressure fighters end up getting to guys. But even if you're not a huge puncher, if you're a master of position, you're always going to have the edge. It's just how much of a master are you going to be. Shakur is a next level master of position. He's a defensive specialist. I think the broadcast made it.
Shakur Stevenson was much better than Teofimo Lopez in their last fight, showing smart moves and great timing. From the first rounds, Shakur's fast hits were very good, keeping Lopez away and landing punches before Lopez could even attack. Lopez tried to move fast early on, but he made mistakes by keeping his hand low and jumping in too far. This let Shakur hit him easily with many strong and very quick jabs.
Combinations. Wasn't the most entertaining fight because it was really a slow-paced type of a fight. You know, pop-shotting, kind of in Shakur Stevenson's pace. And Teofimo Lopez needed to do something different in this fight. He needed to get, Shakur out of his character. He needed to push the pace, which he did in round one, but wasn't successful. He was jumping into his punches, lead hand was down, and he was getting clipped with every stiff jab possible. I mean, Shakur Stevenson definitely got one of the best jabs in boxing. I've been saying this for a while now, and it's really due to the snap of the punch and the relaxation. He's so relaxed in the pocket. He's so relaxed in the... Shout out to Teofimo Lopez. He tried his best. Shout out to Turkey Al-Sheikh for putting on the fight. But this was definitely a masterclass. If anything, Teofimo Lopez might have won one round out of this whole fight. But, Shakur, just a masterclass. Now, he calls out Conor Benn. Conor Benn comes into the ring, says, "You too small." But also, Shakur Stevenson says he wants that rehydration clause, the same rehydration clause you put Chris Eubank through. So, I don't know if this fight's going to happen due to the fact that, I don't know if, Conor Benn is really willing to do that, knowing that, Conor Benn is #1 in the WBC, looking for that Ryan Garcia.
That is it for today's video. Stay tuned. See you next time.